Um,
Yep.
yeah,
Stream
so
as
here
well.
we go. Oh, I'm so excited to be here today with my goody buddy, Vanessa Peace. Vanessa, welcome to the LinkedIn Live. And we are so excited about talking about your imprint today, your authentic imprint. So, we were just talking in the green room about how long we've known each other. I think it's like 15, almost 16 years or 16 years, almost 17.
16, certainly 16.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what we do here at Authentic Imprint Live is we explore what it means to lead and to live from the inside out. Each week, I get to talk with a leader who's taken the Authentic Imprint assessment. And today, that is Vanessa Peace. And Vanessa, welcome. And I would love for you to share your story and your season of change that you were in when you took this Authentic Imprint assessment.
Fabulous. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for the book. Thank you for hosting these live sessions. I know that it's been great. I've been listening personally, so it's been great for me. And I hope today we can touch some people together and
Yes.
have this great dialogue that can maybe crack open someone else. So as you said, we've known each other for 16 years. That's when I was about to have Ella, my daughter, who's about to be 17. And so I moved to Texas by way of Montreal, Canada, where I had just started an advertising career. I was working for McCann Erickson in Montreal and met my honey and moved to Texas. And, all these years later, we have two wonderful kids, two teenagers, a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. And it's incredible. And I've also had the honor of having a great career here in Texas. And so that started at Southwest Airlines, where you and I worked together. In fact, Dana, you were my leader and my mentor. And it feels like you've been my I won't say fairy godmother, fairy god sister and mentor for all those 16 years. And because our relationship started as one of coaching and leadership, which is fabulous. And I had the rare opportunity of getting to work on the rebranding of Southwest Airlines. And that was probably the pinnacle of my career. I mean, the feather in my cap. It was just such an incredible company to get to learn from and to, get this really deep sense of being able to bring your authentic self to work. I've never seen it since the way I saw it at Southwest Airlines. And of course, having the honor of working with incredible people like Herb and Colleen, who were just tremendous leaders at the airline and built a company that was really the stuff that business schools teach about corporate culture. From my time at Southwest, I made the decision to leave and jump to a completely different, very corporate experience at AT&T. And that was also really incredible schooling for me, just working for a company at the time that had, I think it was over 280,000 employees. So I felt like Southwest was big until I went to AT&T and realized, oh, this is really a big corporation. And there I feel like I learned so much about discipline and rigor and the importance of leadership for large groups. And I had the honor of doing some great brand management and brand strategy work there. And then made the big decision to jump into the healthcare world. And I left AT&T and went to lead the full marketing department at Children's Health. And that was also incredible. My daughter has a rare neurological disorder. Dana, you know that well.
Yeah.
And Ella is often at Children's Health. So the opportunity to go and use my own personal experience in addition to my brand savvy to help the marketing department was so wonderful. It was also during COVID, which was hard on everyone. And so from Children's Health, right after COVID, I made the move to go to the American Cancer Society. And that was, wow, just incredible opportunity to learn from a very well-established nonprofit. And then I lost my job. I lost my job at the American Cancer Society, and it ended up being the best thing that could happen to me because right now I'm in the middle of this transition storm that I think we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
Your book and your wisdom and my own life experience have really given me this just great foundation to be able to manage through the storm and the sadness that came with job loss and the bruised ego that comes with losing your title and the worry that comes with losing your salary. And because I've had this great training in authenticity, I've been able to work on my reinvention. And that's where I am today.
I love your story. And I saw your positivity come through. Vanessa and I have been talking strengths since 2014, probably.
Yes. Yes.
And so, Vanessa, can you share with the audience what your strengths are? I think they probably heard them, but we're
Yes.
talking about Clifton Strengths. And
Yes.
Clifton Strengths is one of the tools that I have within the Authentic Imprint, which is an assessment that Vanessa took and we're going to talk about today. And it tells you where you are in 4 areas. The first one being Clifton Strengths, or if you know your strengths. It doesn't have to be Clifton Strengths, but do you know your strengths?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you came out pretty high that you know your strengths and the energy that I see when you use them. So can you share with the audience what your top
That's
5
right.
strengths are?
So I took Clifton Strengths back in 2016. And Dana, I suspect I was probably one of your guinea pig students at the time.
Probably.
You were
Yeah.
really bringing Clifton Strengths to Southwest Airlines, and I, being on your team, got really excited. And I had up until then never really taken one of these kind of psychological assessments or personality assessments that was so spot on. And so my strengths are activator, woo, winning others
Mhm.
over, connectedness,
Mhm.
communication, and strategic. And if you start going a little lower, right below that 5 strength, threshold, then my very next one is positivity, which you've mentioned. And so I
Yeah.
feel that having understood early in my career what my strengths are has allowed me,
Mhm.
thanks to your coaching on this, has allowed me to not spend so much of my limited energy and time on trying to perfect things I'm not strong at, right?
Right.
Understanding that you have all the strengths, but that your core strengths, the top ones, are the ones that, really energize you and where you can really thrive. That's really helped me a tremendous amount.
And when we talk about where you are in this interesting, I love how and I remember each time when you were thinking about change and you'd come and we talk about what
Mhm.
you're looking at and the opportunities and does it feed your strengths, and each of those roles really fed, and you were getting more and more into purpose.
Yeah.
And I think with your activator, you want to be in a dynamic environment, and with your woo, it's like, what can I do where I can win others over and be around new and different people all the time?
Yeah.
And then the connectedness is accepting mystery. You went through some pretty hefty, hard things in your life. And there's people watching this right now who have gone through or in the midst of going through some really tough stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen you, with when your daughter was born and knowing that you had a child with special needs and you were going to have to adapt your lifestyle and everything to that. And you have been on the threshold of I think the poster child for a mom in how to raise a child in this environment and that thrives
Mhm.
and continue raising being a part of your family. So I see that a lot with your communication and all that you do. So when you took the Authentic Imprint assessment, this is IP that I created, and it's really what I saw wasn't out there, Vanessa, because we kind of learned our strengths, but there's all these other pieces, the core values, the mission, and then your emotional recognition. When you took the assessment, what areas did you reveal that you wanted to work on right now? Is you're in this amazing time of transition?
Yes. So thank you. So, starting with strengths, I feel like because I've been working in my strengths for a long time, I was high on that. So I wasn't surprised about that. And then my mission connection, I love that part of the whole framework. I'm also high on that as well, which is, I'm so happy about that. My surprise, I guess, I shouldn't be surprised, but I guess I was maybe fibbing to myself, thinking that I had strong emotional recognition, but that's where I scored the lowest. And I think that for me, because there's so much change, and I've thrived and I've come out of
Mhm.
change, on top, or even feeling even better. But nonetheless, when I'm in it, or when things come and disrupt my the journey I'm on, or my mental clarity that I have in that moment, I do lose touch with my emotions, and I want to control that more. I want to feel less nervous, or less worry, or less uncomfortable about these new things I'm jumping into.
Well, let's talk about that. You have a great opportunity next week to speak to a
Yeah.
large audience.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see that you're getting into purpose driven opportunities. And can you tell me what in starting to speak, because people are calling you now and asking you to come and speak, what area of that do you want to, and I just call it, how do we notice it when that emotional we all have
Yeah.
throughout the day, not just at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, it's throughout the day. What can you use to notice it, to name it, and to navigate it? What are you leaning on right now
Ooh,
when
because
you have that emotional moment of like,
well, that's really good. So I sign myself up to these things, or I agree to do these things, because I'm very passionate about using my story and
Mhm,
telling as many people, right? The connectedness and the
mhm,
communicator in me just wants to like activate a room and inspire a room. But right before, maybe about an hour before, I know I'm about to go on stage. And by the way, I love the stage, which is why this is so unusual for me. But
mhm,
I get so nervous, and I know everyone says, "Oh, it's just stage fright." I get uncomfortably nervous, like wanting to just run away, kind of nervous, and
mhm,
almost like feeling like I'm going to blank out, like I will not remember anything. And the first 2 minutes of any speaker's opportunity on stage are usually the first, that's the first impression that you make.
mhm.
And I want to come out strong. I want to have like a strong first impression. And I don't right now. I mean, maybe not everyone's noticing, but I don't feel confident because I let my nerves and
Mm,
my, I don't know, lack of confidence. I don't know what it is. There's something emotional that's just grabbing me. So if I'm to name
mhm.
it, Dana, because that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a pit in my stomach, and it's
Mhm,
this like this
mhm.
little girl who doesn't know what she's doing all of a sudden. Whereas I might have been practicing for 2 weeks, and I feel very confident about what I'm about to say.
Well, let's use the authentic imprint to help you to remind yourself, and I can recall a call I got from you, gosh, last year
Yes.
when you were on in a Uber on your way to DC, in to go speak on behalf of Rett syndrome, I think.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
It was for the Epilepsy Foundation. It was an incredible opportunity.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you were feeling this, and this is what you always wanna have, an accountability partner or coach or somebody that you can call when you start feeling this, but if you don't have that person, there's things you can do, and I wanna take you back to the authentic imprint to help you. We talked about your strengths, so you're 1 in 34 million, you have woo, you have communication. I think one of the things I said to you is, "Vanessa, just be you."
I know.
Don't try, and I think when we're trying to be somebody else, it's harder,
Yeah.
but when we're uniquely ourselves, it's just that authenticity comes out, and the audience feels it and you feel it. We're always gonna be nervous before we speak. That's just a given because we wanna do good, right?
Yeah.
So, we talked about your strengths, so which 2 strengths will you lean on to help you when you're speaking next week?
Well, certainly my communication, naturally.
Yeah?
Um, I think next week I get to speak to a room full of executive women,
Mhm.
and they've asked me to share my personal and professional experience to inspire how to navigate change.
Mm.
And so I think I want to use my connectedness, because I
Yeah.
want that in that moment, all of the women in the room, that we just like put our titles aside and put our worries aside, and we acknowledge how much change we're each going through, right? Like all of us are
Mhm.
going through so much change, every one of us. And I want us to feel connected in that moment. I want us to feel the power of inspiration and connection, and that none of us are doing any of this alone. So I think those are the two strengths I'll lean on next week.
Yeah. In your communication, you get energy when you are in your strengths.
Yeah.
So when you're storytelling, when you're talking, you get energy from that. So you're going to
Yeah.
be energized from that. And then I love the connectedness, knowing the audience. What do they feel? What do they want to know? And connecting with them. That's awesome. Those two.
Okay.
Let's move over to your core values.
Yes.
These are values that are unwavering. They help us make decisions. You said you've had them for how long? You've known your core values for
Well, it's interesting because I've had this notebook on my phone, and even every time I change phones, I re-download the same notebook. And I've had what I call my life list, but it's really my personal brand, maybe because I've been a brand manager and a brand
yeah.
strategist my whole career. And so I have my goal, and I have my purpose, and I have my values. And then you propose a very long list of values in the book. And I love that because I pulled some new ones to the top.
Mm,
Um, I used my values for a long time were courage, optimism, openness. But then in reading the book and really thinking about, not just where I've been, but where I'm headed, like what are the values that like really help propel me to
mhm,
living my full self, to speaking from my heart, for example. And
mhm.
so I these are the five that I've picked: authenticity, which makes sense given what we're
Yeah.
talking about, right? But feels so right. Purpose. Working
Mhm.
and living in my purpose is so important to me. And I am only now as happy as I am because I finally have been able to really architect my life to be living and working in my purpose.
Love it.
Wisdom. And for me, wisdom has come, yes, from within using my own intuition, but from having mentors like you, Dana, like Colin
Mm,
Barrett, like Ginger Hardage, like so many people who have touched my life and who have,
mm,
been so wise. And I feel like I drink wisdom up, and
mm,
it fuels me and it replenishes me. And then family and love. Family
mm.
is obviously so important to everyone. No one will say, "Oh no, family's not my values." But as I've gotten older and I've been able to reprioritize my time and how I choose to
Mhm.
spend it, family has really moved up for me in terms of understanding that I have a 14-year-old son. He is quickly going to be driving himself everywhere. So now I will absolutely drop everything and be his Uber driver. I have a
Um,
nearly 17-year-old, multiple medical complexity, special needs daughter. Time is always very precious with her. And of course, you build a marriage and you want to invest in it. And when you build your career, sometimes family becomes like the second priority. And so
mhm.
now it's really about balance. So I was happy to move family up in my values for me.
Mm.
And then love, of course, I believe that everything I do, everything has to operate from a place of love.
I love those values. And now let's look at this presentation you're giving next week. Which of your core values are you going to pick to focus on as you
Wow.
deliver your message?
Wow. Okay. So that's such a great yes. So authenticity, because like you said, just be yourself, darn it. Just show up
Mhm.
and like, yes, don't
Mhm.
be nervous, but just show up and be yourself. So
Mhm.
I aim to really speak from a place of genuine authenticity. Like they're going to see me raw and naked. I'm going to tell my real story, the hardships and thriving from those hard instances. And then I think that a combination of love and purpose, I
Yeah.
think, because I want to inspire everyone to become maybe a little bit more of a gracious leader. A lot of the
Mhm.
people in the room are going to be people leaders who lead big
Mhm.
teams. And I feel that by telling my story of having had multiple challenges in my personal life while I navigated a very, you know, um, quickly moving a professional life, that it's because I had a lot of great, graceful leaders
Mm.
who helped me and
Mhm.
understood the assignment of a true leader. And so I'm hoping that I can instill that in them a little bit, right? So that they can show some love and grace to people who are having maybe a bit more of a hard time navigating change.
I love it. So we've talked through your strengths and your core values, but we haven't heard your mission. A lot of
Mhm.
people haven't developed a personal mission
Yeah.
statement because you're a brand
Yeah.
strategist and you've just always worked on that for other brands. You've been working on that for yourself. Can you
Yes.
share with the audience what your mission
Yeah.
is, your
So
personal mission statement?
so it's a little bit dorky, I'll say, because I wrote
No.
this so many years ago and I keep chiseling it. But the way I've written my mission is twofold. I have a goal for myself and then I have my purpose. And those two things create my mission, why I wake up every day. And I read it for the first time out loud when we were in the green room today. Now I'm reading it twice, a second time, and now for a whole bunch of people. So my mission, like I said, is twofold. So my goal is to use my gifts and life experiences to lead a purposeful life. And then my purpose is to lead with kindness, to inspire and create meaningful connections while helping others find clarity.
Wow. What's wild is in the book, The Internal Revolution, which Vanessa's been talking about, I help people not only just, find their strengths, but their core values and then build their personal mission statement. And it's interesting, Vanessa, because I heard your strengths within your mission statement. I heard the connectedness. It's funny that you wrote that so long
Yeah,
ago
yes.
and it's coming out so strong with your connectedness and your communication. So next week, what do you want to leave your audience with
Yeah.
based on this mission?
I want everyone to come out of that moment recognizing that they have everything within them to manage through change.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Bingo, right?
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah. Because
So
we all
some
have it, right? We
yes.
all have it, but maybe because of lack of emotional recognition or misalignment to values or not really working and living in our strengths, you know, oftentimes leaders, community leaders, family leaders, professional leaders, we get in our way of just the most immediate problem in front of us versus
Yes.
thinking about alignment to the bigger picture. And I think that that's been the most beautiful thing about Authentic Imprint is that if you can craft your brand, your personal brand, and really
Mhm.
articulate it and then keep going back to it. Like I love the emails that you're sending once you do the imprint, because then every day you're reminding me, now work on your mission, now your values, now
Mhm.
work on your strengths. If you can keep going back to it and chiseling it and changing it as your seasons change, it actually really, when I look back to 2016 and I'm looking at where I'm at now, it's fascinating how
Mhm.
literally can direct the course of your life,
Mm.
even if it takes 15 years.
Right.
So starting now and writing it and being intentional about it is such a gift that you're not just reminding, that you're like teaching and helping like to architect for people. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's because I created this because I was just listening to external things,
Mhm.
and I really had to do the deep work of no, when I go, and that's why the book's called The Internal Revolution, Lead Authentically and Build Your Personal Brand from Within. And it's really a personal branding book, but we call it the assessment, the authentic imprint. And
Yeah.
it's really about who am I and how do I want to show up in the world and how do I intentionally show up. So for you, Vanessa, as we talk through emotional recognition, I know you're very organized. I know you are out there serving so many people, but have you ever thought about doing the 3-level check-in that we talk about in the book, which is in the morning? What
Yes.
what am I bringing today? Have you had an opportunity to test that out? And
So I'm good at doing it, Dana. So maybe this is the coaching from you. I'm good at doing it in the morning. It's
mm,
then throughout the day.
yeah,
So in the morning I journal, and I always journal my 3 gratitudes minimum.
yeah,
And it's my way of being, right, like the way you write in the book, it's my way of centering myself and being
Mhm.
Just that few moments of quiet to almost like manifest what my day will
Yeah.
be, and to make some mental training or framework of how I want the day to go. But then I get tripped up during the day if something happens that was unexpected, or.
Yeah. So say you're going let's just visualize next week. You're flying to a city. You're probably gonna spend the night and then get up and speak, or are
Mhm.
you flying
Yep.
in and speaking that morning?
No,
Okay.
I'm flying in the whole that day. I'm there at the conference, and then the next day I get to speak.
Okay. So you're gonna be talking to yourself. You're gonna be meeting a lot of people.
Mhm.
And so we wanna make sure that internal work is going on, right? And so what being intentional, like you said, the morning, what energy are you gonna bring to yourself and to others that day? Because that you can find that through your strengths, through your communication, your woo,
Yeah.
your activator. But then what I'm hearing you say is it's during the middle of the day when everything is so busy because your activator is going boom, 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 right? It's like, "Ooh, let me go do this."
Yes.
Let's turn the activator off. And a trigger is when you feel triggered in the middle
Mhm.
of the day and you just give yourself 10 seconds, 10
Mhm.
seconds, Vanessa, to kind of go, okay, what am I feeling right now? And name that feeling. I'm scared. I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm, whatever the energy is, and then name it and then choose the response you want for that situation. Um,
I
and
think
what,
that's great to because I'm sure a lot of people are like me. Like when I get started on something, an assignment, and then I go to the next thing, and then there's a meeting, and then there's this, like I'm not stopping at
yeah,
all. And
yeah.
so that's like it's almost like I should set an alarm to be like, okay, time to like connect
Mhm.
emotionally and recognize what's going on.
Yeah, it's almost like you have that activator and it's getting in your way, right? But I'm
Yes,
hearing you say, turn
yes.
it off, but you always have something you can turn up in your strengths, in your core values, in your mission. And so what would you turn up instead when you need to turn that activator off?
Yeah, it's like both activator and woo, because if I'm going to be in
Yeah.
a room full of people and I'm like wooing the room,
Yeah.
I'm not focusing on that emotional recognition.
Yes.
So maybe it's the connectedness, but back to
Mhm.
myself.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
check in with myself, maybe
Yes.
like, hey, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, when you start to think about it, now all of a sudden
Mhm.
maybe the emotion starts churning and I can
Yeah.
work on it before I get to that point where I get so nervous.
And then you have in your home life, you've got a busy household
Mm,
with lots of people going on. The cute little dog behind you is just there with you, but your sweet husband and your mom and your kids and
yeah.
everybody's needing your attention. And we have a lot
Yes.
of busy working moms on this call.
God, yeah.
And so, what's one thing you can do in the evening to just quick get a emotional, where are you? What emotional wake did you leave that day? How did
Mm.
you serve that day? And give yourself a little pat on the back because nobody else is going to come up, Vanessa, and go, woohoo, good job today. But
That's true.
so, what's
Yes.
one thing you can do at the end of the day? Again, you might have to set yourself alarm. But
Yes.
you might wanna use your positivity or find one
Yep.
of your other strengths, but what's one thing you could do at the end of the day to kinda go, "Wow, what kind of emotional recognition did I give today? And what kind of
Huh.
wake did I leave with those that I got to encounter today?"
I love that. I love taking out that time purposefully, and it doesn't even have to be long. Like I
No.
said, I can do it in the morning, so I can naturally do it two more times. And that evening check-in. So, I work often. I'll have meetings late in the night because I'm meeting with clients. Some of my marketing work is with Chinese companies, and so I'm meeting until maybe midnight, and then I'm kind of exhausted, and I know the next morning starts early because the kids are going to school, and so I just kind of like crash out. But taking that extra minute while I'm wiping the makeup off my face to like do that check-in and be more deliberate, I'm gonna get started on that tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, it's really in chapter 5 of the Internal Revolution talks about the 4 types of energies. There's physical, there's emotional, there's mental, and there's relational. So you could have all that going on. Health, what's going on with your
Mm.
health.
Okay, I'm putting a
Your
little bookmark in here because I'm on chapter 4 right now, but
Yeah,
let's get into
chapter
chapter
5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got the strengths journal. So
Yes.
at the end of the day, we've updated the strengths journal. It's a daily companion guide to Clifton Strengths. You can literally go in there and write at the end of the day, how did I do with my emotional recognition today?
Check back in.
And then you'll
Yeah.
start getting in the path. It's like you're planting a garden and you're tilling it and you're watering it every day. And we don't go and just get the seeds up every day and start over. It's like we got to keep taking.
Yes.
And so, as you know, we got to put the oxygen mask on us first and help us. And that's that emotional recognition. So
Love that.
any thoughts as you hear all that? But chapter 5, I think you would really that gave you, in the authentic imprint assessment, gave you that opportunity to do that.
Well, it was great for me to check in and realize that, because I've been feeling it, but I hadn't named that thing until I read emotional recognition and was immediately understanding, oh, that's that feeling where I let time get away from me and I get so busy and caught up in what people need or what the work is in front of me. And then I lose my temper for a small little thing because I haven't checked in on, maybe I'm just exhausted, or maybe I need a break. Maybe it's
Yeah.
time to go for a walk. So I think that's great and exactly what I needed.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we're talking to ourselves all the time, so it's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, man, what am I saying to myself, and
Quiet the
how can
mind.
I use my strengths to talk to myself a little bit kinder?"
Mm,
Because we're probably hard on ourselves, and most of the things we're telling ourselves all day long aren't the truth, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think when you can go back to how uniquely you're wired and what you can do, it's just amazing when you start. And again, I have to work on this every day. This is a daily work.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
not a one and done. And so that's why I'm created these tools to help us. So the internal revolution you can get it on my webpage at danawilliamsco.com. You can
Yeah.
also get it on Amazon. And so I think, that's the first thing. If you want to take the authentic imprint assessment, that's also on our webpage. And I'll put that on here, and you can go there and find all kinds of goodies. And the thing, Vanessa, that you and I have been talking about that we're actually going to do in January is we're going to have a authentic imprint accelerator for people like you that are going through some transition and just want some accountability along the way. Just 90 minutes each week. So people will get the book and the journal with the program, and I'll be there coaching you through each chapter, and then have a little homework, not a lot, because everybody's busy. And then once, every week you'll be able to learn and grow in community and be a part of that. So we want to make sure that people, join us on that. And we're starting. Just go to this website, you will find it. I'm excited, Vanessa, that you were here today and you got to share your journey. One thing I want to note, and I want to make sure that our audience hears today, if you're feeling like things aren't right at work or what you're doing with your life, that means you're meant for more, and that's a sign, right? And as we close out, Vanessa, I know you were scared to jump out there and do things on your own because you have so many responsibilities. But can you give a word of encouragement to our audience as you now are designing your days based on your talents and your
Yeah.
uniqueness?
Yeah. Yes. I am right now sometimes having to pinch myself just how incredible things have turned out. And I'm not saying that lightly because, as Dana mentioned, I have had a lot of hardship in my own personal life because of my child's medical condition and just life being hard. And then I've lost two jobs that I thought were the end all be all jobs, and
Mhm.
have had to lick my wounds and patch back my ego and recover from those instances. And this last time has felt different for me because I have applied to, I don't know, by now maybe 500 different positions, and the job market's really hard, and we're on
Mhm.
LinkedIn now, and I know a lot of people are on LinkedIn looking right now, and it's felt sometimes even a little hopeless. And meanwhile, because I've been really focused on my strengths and my values, and I have built some great relationships, and I've had like my board of directors, like you call it, Dana, like
Mhm.
who have guided me and mentored me, I've been able to pick up the phone and make connections. And because of all those things that have, transpired, I'm now living in my purpose and working my purpose. I'm doing some fractional executive work for the nonprofit that supports my daughter's diagnosis, the International Rett
Amazing.
Syndrome Foundation. And so they have me helping build their family engagement strategy, which is, oh my goodness, so aligned to my purpose. I'm getting to do brand strategy and marketing work for companies in China with these young, really awesome startup companies, and these companies that are fueled with hope because they're led by young individuals who really want to create great quality product. And then in addition, I'm getting invited to go speak to things. And I'm just like, I'm floored. I even joined a band. I'm a backup singer in a band. I mean, all these things started to happen when I just stopped being so focused on what I thought I needed to do. And then I
Mhm.
worked backwards to what was my purpose again? What do I really value? What energizes me? And I'll be honest, I had a really great job opportunity just about 2 months ago. And I had interviewed and interviewed and interviewed, and I was at the final stages, and I'm probably about to get the job. And I stopped and had these feelings and this
Mhm.
emotional churn. And I had to fess up to my husband and say, I don't want that job. It was going to be
Mhm.
like 45, 50 hours a week. And it was
Mhm.
going to be very strategic and fantastic title and fantastic pay, but completely misaligned with my purpose. And so I
Mhm.
made a difficult decision, and I felt selfish doing it. But the universe and God has rewarded me because now everything is just aligning, and
Mhm.
professionally and personally, I get to spend my time doing things I really care about. And financially, it's starting to pay off. And so I guess my advice is, do the work to really have a strong sense of what you want to be doing with your time.
Mhm.
That's like our most important commodity,
Mhm.
and figure out like how you can use your strengths, what your values are, like do the work to actually write them out. Do write your mission statement, even if it sounds crazy. Look up what a company's mission statement might be.
Mhm.
Dana's book shares like all kinds of different ways to come up with a mission statement. And then for me specifically, I'm saying it to myself, but for anyone out there also, like recognize what your emotional triggers are, and
Mhm.
be able to name them and be able to manage through them, because we're all going through so much change, whether it's job loss or challenges in relationships. And when you have a really good strong sense of yourself, your authentic self, you can
Mhm.
navigate anything and come out winning and thriving. And so I'm just really feeling grateful. And Dana, so grateful for you and your 16 years
Yeah.
of coaching me, and really excited about the book. My husband's reading it now, which is so
Yay.
exciting because he's loving it as well. So thank you.
Well, I loved all that you just shared. I love the fact that you've gotten into a band.
Mhm.
And that's kind of just a release, right?
Yes,
Talking about the physical and the fun and the what are you
yes,
doing, the social, all the areas of well-being. I also want to congratulate you. You told me in the green room that you'd finished your book, and this has been on your heart for a while. And it
yes.
brings us all to tears to say that you said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it here and I'm going to make it happen. And you did.
Yep, and
And
it's
it's going
that.
to come out in 2026.
Yes,
And this message is to stop and celebrate too. And
yes.
that's a lot that you've come through. And I applaud you too for saying that that job did not feel right.
I know.
And you were able to go to your husband and say that and then share that with others. And then look at the energy you're having right now. When we are living in our authentic imprint, it's about managing our energy and not our time.
Yes.
And what we say is, and you are very productive, but how freeing for you to say that you don't need to be more productive now. Vanessa, you just need to be more you.
Yes. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes.
And that's the key red thread of consistency throughout the whole book, The Internal Revolution. So feel free to reach out. I'm thrilled that Vanessa, you were here today to share your story. We can't wait to hear how next week goes when you speak, and that you had a speaking engagement yesterday. And I mean, your life is, you are designing your life
I
each
am.
day instead of living by default. And how
Yeah.
great that is. So
True.
congratulations.
It's so freeing. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Dana, for everything.
And thank you for being here.